Hello and welcome back to another episode of the DIYGuy.net. Alright, today we got this Subaru. It's got some squeaky drive belts. There's usually two causes of it. One, that the belt is loose and it's just skipping around on the pulley and making it squeak. The other is that the belt is actually dried and cracked and needs to be replaced. So we're going to go through how to change your two drive belts. There's one that runs your alternator, your power steering, and then the other one that runs the compressor for your AC. First step is to remove these two covers that cover the belt. You're going to need a 10mm socket and a ratchet to remove these three 10mm bolts. I have access to air, so I'm going to use my 1/4" air ratchet with a 10mm socket. Now that we took out those three 10mm bolts and we're able to remove this cover, we're going to need a 12mm socket and a ratchet to loosen this bolt right here so we can remove this cover. Alright, since the alternator belt is closer to the front of the car and the AC is behind it, we need to remove the alternator belt first. You probably can't see this, but there's a 12mm bolt right here holding the adjuster for the alternator in position. So we need to take our 12mm socket and our ratchet and loosen that first, and then we'll turn this bolt right here on top so we can lower the alternator and remove the belt. Before I start, I'm going to spray down the threads with the PB blaster just to keep them lubricated. Sometimes the alternator won't go down. You have to push down on the bolt to slide it down. Once we got it loosened, we'll push the alternator down, slide the belt off, pull the belt out. Now that I have the alternator belt out, you can see right here that the 12mm bolt that I loosened on the alternator adjuster for the belt, that way I can remove the belt. Now that we have the alternator belt out of the way, we'll go ahead and start removing the AC belt. So to start, we need a 12mm short socket. What we're going to do is loosen this bolt or nut right here that's holding the wheel of the adjuster onto the slide. Once we get that loose a few turns, we're going to put a 12mm long socket on, and right behind this little L of this bracket is the adjuster. We're going to loosen that up until we can get the belt off. Once we have that loose, we'll switch back to our 12mm deep socket. So once we have it loose enough, we should be able to hop the belt off. Now, as you can see, this one's cracked and needs replacing. The other one wasn't too bad, but we're going to replace it anyway since we have it off. So we unpackaged our new AC belt. So what we're going to do is put it around the adjuster first, onto our harmonic balance pulley, and then onto the AC compressor. Now that we have the belt on, we'll go ahead and ensure that it's in the grooves like it should be. Then we'll grab our ratchet and our 12mm deep socket. We'll tighten the adjuster and snug the belt down. So now that we have the tension of our belt where we want it, we'll go ahead and grab our 12mm ratchet and our short socket and tighten down that nut on the bottom of the adjuster. With that lower nut tightened on the tensioner for the AC belt, that's it for the AC belt. We'll go back to the alternator and power steering belt now. We'll grab our new one. We'll slide it on the harmonic balancer first, around our power steering pulley, and then onto the alternator. Once we have our belt in, we'll make sure it's sitting in the grooves like it should be on each pulley. Next, we'll grab a ratchet or 12mm socket. We'll use the adjuster to bring the alternator up to tighten the belt. So once we have it snug down right where we want it, the belt just wiggles, it's not too tight, not too loose. We'll go ahead and take our ratchet and snug down this 12mm bolt to hold the adjuster in position. So now that we have both new belts installed, all the adjusters are tight, we'll go ahead and reinstall those two covers. We're going to start with the metal one on the left first. Now this bolt on the left here is going to have the shoulder on it. We'll go ahead and run that one down hand tight. Then we'll go ahead and tighten this with our 12mm ratchet. Once we have this bolt snug down, we'll go ahead and grab our plastic cover and install that. Now we'll go ahead and grab our ratchet and our 10mm socket and tighten those three 10mm bolts down. So with these three 10mm bolts snug down and tight, holding the two covers in position, that's it. We just showed you how to change the two drive belts on your Subaru. Thanks for watching another episode of the DIYguy.net. If you just finished building you the subscribe button, click that to get the latest DIY fixes delivered right to you. If you just finished building you the What's Next button, you can click that and we'll help you figure out what you want to fix next. You can also click the link in the description which takes you to our website for a full write-up.